Hey ladies, thank you so much for tuning in and joining me today. So I'm in here today to share with you a story time. Let me do a disclaimer and a warning. We'll be talking about being stalked and stalking, and I will be talking about the Me Too movement and sexual harassment and stuff like that. My fire alarm, I have to get somebody in to fix it because I clearly don't know how. Okay, shortly before I moved to Georgia, and this is not the reason why I moved to Georgia, but shortly before I moved to Atlanta, a new man moved into our neighborhood, across the street from my childhood home where I was living at the time. And he, this is my house. Like, my house is here. Then you cross the street, it's an alley, and then the back of the houses on the other street can see the back of my house, if that makes sense. I'm bad at directions. As I said, I'm bad with directions. But to make it plain, he could look out his back door and see he could look out his back porch and see my back porch. And the back is where the garage was, where my car was parked, everything like that. So when he originally moved into the neighborhood, didn't notice him. You notice new people moving in, but you pay them no mind. Especially if you're in Detroit, it's like, okay, somebody's new in the neighborhood. Let me see what they about or whatever. You know, whatever as far as like, hope they ain't bringing drugs in the neighborhood, stuff like that. So as time progressed, I'll say he was living in the house about 3 months. And after about 3 months, like when I would go out prior to the 3-month period, when I would go out, I would see him on his back porch, like looking over. But you could be just sitting on your back porch, and if you hear movement, you're gonna look in the direction of the movement. So it never entered my mind that he was watching me. Never thought that. So I would notice that every time I would go outside, he would be outside or whatever, but I never, at that time, I didn't think he was watching me. I just didn't. I told my mom, I said, it's really weird that every time I go outside, he's outside. But it could be, you know, people move around. It's nothing. So after about 3 months of me noticing that every time I'm outside, or I come outside, he's out there, or he comes out, after 3 months, he started speaking. And he would be like, hey, how you doing? And I'd be like, hi. And get in my car and go on about my business or whatever. When I would come home and I'm pulling up, whatever, by the time I would get my bags and everything, get out the car, he would be on his back porch. And I'm thinking, okay. And he'd be like, hey, how you doing? I'm like, whatever. Because I'm not friendly, not with random dudes. No, I don't know you like that, and I don't want to give you the impression that I am interested in anything you have to say. So, no. So, my first instance with him, when I knew something wasn't right with him, I had went to, at the time, my boyfriend's house. I had spent the night. When I left my boyfriend's house, like I'm coming out, I'm pulling out of his driveway. Let me mention, the dude had a van. One of those, you know, old school vans. I'll try to find a picture, but the van. So when I was pulling out of the driveway of my boyfriend's house, and, you know, you pull out and then you pull in the street to turn around and go up the street, I look in my rearview mirror. He behind the dude that live across the street from me is on my boyfriend's street. On his street. Behind my car. Like, really? Now, prior to this instance, I never seen this man anywhere except for on his porch. But now I'm coming out of my boyfriend's house and you're on the same street early in the morning. Like, what are the odds? You had to follow me to his house and you had to like keep coming back in that area. I don't know how he did it. I'm not even about to sit here and try to rack my brain. So when I looked in the mirror and I saw him, I called my mom, my boyfriend. I'm like, I'm pretty sure, because when I first saw the car, the van, I'm like, nah. And I pulled off. And when I got to the corner of Gratiot, if you live in Detroit, you know. When I got to the corner of Gratiot to make that right to go home, and the van made the right, and I adjusted my mirror like, is this him? I'm like, oh my God, it's him. So I called my boyfriend like, this dude is following me. He lived across the street from me and blah, blah, blah. And so he was upset like, why hadn't you mentioned this before? And I'm like, I didn't really think nothing of him. Nothing. You know, so he was like, if you on Gratiot, you can go, the way I go home, it's a police station. So he was like, where are you at? I said, I'm almost to the corner of 6 Mile and Gratiot. And he was like, pull in the police station. I pull in the police station. The van goes past me. I see him crystal clear. It was him. Oh, hell no. Now we got a problem. So I drive home or whatever. I'm like, I wasn't so much scared. I was pissed off. And so I get home. I look in the back. True enough, there his damn van is. So it was you. So I go in the house and I tell my mama, like, this man is following me. He was just following me from where I was at. And she like, what? I'm like, I'm telling you, it was him. Every time I go outside, he outside. And now I'm coming out of old boy house and you at old boy house. Like, what are the odds of you being on the street that I'm on at that time of morning? Come on now. What are the odds of you being on that street, period? Like, I never saw you before. And at this time, the guy I was with, me and him have been together like 6 years. I'd never seen this dude before on that street or anywhere. I'd never seen this man before. Never. All right. So I'm like, my mom was like, okay, so you gonna get some pepper spray. Don't go outside by yourself. And we just gonna watch him and see what he do. By this time, my dad had passed away. So, you know, my mom was like, we gonna see what he do. If he keep bothering you, then we gonna call Joe, which is my brother. So, okay, I became very aware of what I was doing. And I had to be at work early in the morning at 7:30. So I would leave out the house at 6:30. And you know, it's dark at 6:30. So here's when he escalated. Fast forward about a month and a half after him appearing in the area where I was at. I get up one morning and I get up, get ready for work. I always looked out. Every morning I would get up and I would go to the kitchen, look out the window, check, make sure my car was there, and check and see if his lights was on in his house. So this particular morning, I get up, go check, make sure my car there, look up, his lights not on in his house. Okay, I go, I get ready for work, get my clothes, everything. Get my mama up, because she was retired by then. Get my mama up, like, come on, you know, watch me or whatever. I'm getting ready, or just tell her I'm leaving. And she would sometimes stand in the kitchen window and watch. So this particular day, I go through my morning ritual. I leave, go downstairs, cut the alarm off, go outside, lock my door, lock the house doors, get to my car. And when I'm at my car, you know how you open your car door, my back is to, so my car sits here. His house is over here. So my back is to his house. You know, I'm looking over my shoulder, but when I was opening my car, this man was coming towards me. He was coming, he was outside. I was by myself. Outside, this man was coming towards me. Thank God my mom just so happened to be watching me on this particular day, and she ran to the door and was like, "You got a problem?" And it scared him off. And I was like, "What the fuck are you doing? What do you want?" And he was like, "Oh, I just want to get to know you. I just want to talk to you." I don't want to talk to you. What the fuck is wrong with you? It's 6 or 6. Because, you know, I can't show you. I couldn't show him that he had scared me because he really scared me. I couldn't show him that. So my thing is to get defensive. What the fuck you out here for? I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to know you. What the fuck is wrong with you? You know, my mom was like, "Why you out here?" She cussing him out. So he was like, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scare you. You ain't scared me. I ain't scared of you. I will fuck you up out here. This the conversation me and this man had. Okay, so my mama is pissed. She calls my brother. And like, we got to do something about this man. In the meantime, I call my boyfriend. And I'm like, "Listen, this morning when I came out, this is what happened." He was like, "What?" I was like, "He came out after he came out." And so my boyfriend left his job, went to my house, and parked in the alley because my house was a corner house. So it was an alley. He parked in the alley and waited on this dude to come out. Do you know he never came out that house? So then my boyfriend wrote a note and he first went to his house and knocked on the door. He wouldn't open the door, wouldn't come to the door. So then my boyfriend wrote him a note. So my boyfriend, you know, goes over there, knocks, nothing. So he leaves him a note, threatening him. I don't know what all he told him. He told me that he told him he had a man, he left him a note from a man. So long story short, I don't know what he said, but shortly after my boyfriend left him that note, he moved out. He left. I could not believe what happened. And after that, I was very much aware of people. I was always aware because I grew up in Detroit. So I'm always aware of people. But I was more aware of people who I would see frequently that I didn't know. I became more aware. And the reason I'm sharing this story is because I forgot about this man until I started writing and talking about different experiences that I've had with men and their mistreatment of me and their sexualizing of me because I look a certain way or for whatever, or just because I'm a female. And I honestly put it so far out of my mind. But when I was writing that, I think I know I'm going through another phase of healing. And so a lot of things that I have buried are coming to the surface. And that man came to the surface. And when I remembered him, it was like I was reliving that experience all over again. That constant, like, I've never been a person who's been afraid to be alone. As far as in the house, be by myself. I'm a loner. I can handle it at night. I'm very nocturnal. You know, I'm up at night. I'm not scary. I'm not afraid to be alone in my house or anywhere. I go out alone. I'm not afraid. But he changed me because he made me more paranoid and aware. If I saw a person more than once and I didn't know them, I became suspicious of them. And it could be that we just frequent the same space. You know, the same store, the same restaurant, the same whatever. But when I was working and that memory of that man was triggered and it came back up, it was like I was right back in that experience. And the fear and the paranoia to be outside and you're out there by yourself and hear this man, he was so freaking close to me. Had my mom not been watching me, I don't know what would have happened. I would have had to fight for my life. I would have had to fight for my life. And let's be clear. The weakest man is strong, okay? I have fought men, but I've never fought a man hand to hand. It's been with a weapon. Never fought a man hand to hand. Never. So all I had on me was my purse, my work bag, and my keys. Now, I could have stabbed him in the eye with the keys or whatever, but that experience, it just brought back so many feelings and so many memories that just angers me that there are some men, not all men, because I do not ascribe to the thought or the theory that all men are dogs. That is a lie. That is a myth. That is some bull crap created by somebody that was pissed off and hurt and acting and speaking out of their hurts. I do not believe all men are dogs. That is not true. And especially not true of my black men. I love my black men. I adore my black men. I do. I believe we need to protect them and speak life into them. And the ones that are screwing up and doing wrong, if we make them accountable for the shit they do, they will improve. They will either grow up or they will go on to the next one. So I don't ascribe to the theory that all men are dogs. But that moment with my stalker, it was just awful. And I think about how stalking laws were back then. They wouldn't have done nothing to him. So it really was just on me and my family to protect me. And thank God my mother had mother's intuition to stand in that window. And she also had the opportunity to see that what I was telling her was true, that this man is really watching my daughter. He's watching her. He came out. I mean, my mom came out and she was so angry. She was livid. I believe if she could have jumped over the banister of that porch, she would have. And I turned, and my only defense at that time was to go straight crazy and just cuss him out and like let him know I will fight you. If you I'm not going down without a fight. So we gonna fight. But he was a coward, because when my mom was up there and then my reaction was what it was, he backed off. Oh, I'm sorry. But then when you're confronted by a man, you disappear. I don't know where that man is at. I hope that he has gotten himself together. And if he hasn't, I hope he's in jail. Because, no. Oh my God. When I think about it, I can feel the fear. And when I think about it, I can feel the fear and the paranoia that I lived with during those days. And I can see his face. And ugh. So if you're going through with men and their mistreatment of women, use your voice. Stand up for yourself. Don't be afraid to reach out and ask for help from police. The system is corrupt or whatever, but it's some diamonds everywhere. And stalking laws are real now. Terroristic threats are real now, because so many women have lost their lives to stalkers. I am grateful, so grateful, that my stalker was a coward. They are cowards, but that he was a coward. And that we were able to scare him away. Because if my mom had not come out of that door that morning, I don't know if I would be sitting here making this video. All because a man could not handle being in an atmosphere where there was a young girl or young woman, because I wasn't a girl, I was a woman, a young woman who had no interest in him. And so you decide to override her wishes and force yourself upon her. That's not okay. It's not right. It's not okay. And I am here to tell you, as living proof, you don't have to take it. Say no. Raise your voice. Stand up for yourself. Because enough is absolutely enough. Thank you, ladies, for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. Like this video. Leave me a comment below. And I will talk to you all very, very soon. Bye.